This is going to be your guide to getting rare Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So my first Pokemon locations guide focused on the new Generation 8 Pokemon. This one focuses on the best, most desirable Pokemon for your games. So if you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, and comment down below. So if you talk to this guy, he talks about his kids talking about a Let's Go experience. The girl is for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, the boy is for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Hey, you and Eevee had I knew it! You had a Let's Go experience with Eevee, haven't you? I hope you have another Let's Go experience with this Eevee too. And then this is how you get a free Eevee or Pikachu depending on which games you've played. Now this is the event that was on the main Pokemon website, and these are the Gigantamax Pikachu and Eevee. So all you need to do is have save data for those games, and then it recognizes it, and then you get an event from it, and then down here at the bottom, you'll be able to receive the special Pikachu or Eevee at the Wild Area Station in the game. You can reach this area after about 2 hours of gameplay, though individual gameplay time may vary. Now, what happens if you haven't played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee for various reasons? Well, you can still pick up a Pikachu or an Eevee. It just depends on the game that you have. Route 4, on your way to Turf Field, has both Pikachu and Eevee, regardless of the game version that you have. However, it gets a little tricky from there. So, overworld Pokemon have a 5% chance of being Pikachu or Eevee. If you have Pokemon Sword, it's Pikachu. If you have Pokemon Shield, it's Eevee. Otherwise, it's a 1% chance. So, depending on the version exclusives you were looking for, if you have Pokemon Shield version, it's just going to be a Pikachu that's going to be the most common, and then you're really going to have to do some searching if you want to get an Eevee. So I think like the worst combination to have is to have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Sword version, because then there's no way that you're going to get an Eevee. However, the special Gigantamax Eevee can't evolve, and let's check out if it can actually breed, because that could be a game changer. If not, it's going to take a little bit of time to get one, but once you have one, then you can do some breeding from there, and it gets a lot easier, unless it isn't female. Then you're going to need a Ditto. But Ditto's pretty much needed anyway, so let's go get ourselves a Ditto. So Ditto can only be found in one area of the game, and it's going to be in a specific part of the wild area, so you need quite a few things to be able to obtain Ditto. First off, pretty much all of the gym badges, and somehow, even though we were on a bike, we just got ambushed by a Linoon. So you're going to need all of the gym badges, because it's an incredibly high level and you wouldn't be able to catch it otherwise. Also, you need to have the surf ability on your bike, and you only get that after defeating the gym in the Ice City. So when you make it through that part of the game, and somehow I can't even escape because everything is so powerful and strong. Yeah, that's another thing about the wild area. Once you've beaten the game, it also kind of powers up quite a bit. Ooh, I'm catching that. One sec. Here, okay, another rare Pokemon location. You can find Wandering Doublade, and then I'll just show you guys where to pick up Honedge. So yeah, back to Ditto. So what we need to do is we need to go from Hammerlock Hills to Giant's Cap, and then we need to pass over the Lake of Outrage, or at least get through the Lake of Outrage, and then we end up over here. Now this is going to be one of the best areas in the game to catch some pretty crazy Pokemon, and you're going to see here in a second all of the wild Pokemon that end up popping up. Now, Ditto is a 10% chance to spawn in the overworld, so you're just going to have to kind of bounce between these two patches of grass until one of them end up spawning. That way we can despawn the ones over there and try to get some fresh Pokemon to appear. Even though a lot of them are spawning, still can be a little tricky to find Ditto. And I guess ideally you would want a yellow or a Ditto, that way it has a high... Oh wow, we just got two of them popping up right there. So yeah, if you had like a yellow or a Ditto, it would have a higher chance at IVs, but just catching a Ditto is really good. And going back to the Doublade, that's another Pokemon that we can get pretty... It's actually pretty interesting. I was about to say pretty easy, but it kind of isn't. And while you're here getting a Ditto, if you really want that Aegislash, Aegislash doesn't spawn in the wild naturally, so you're going to need a Dusk Stone to use on your Doublade. Fortunately, you can find one here. All of these pillars have a stone behind them, and then you can find at least one of all the different evolutionary stones like this. Also, there's an Espeon over there. I didn't know about that one. It's still kind of crazy, like, finding all these overworld Pokemon that end up appearing, but if you see one that you want that's really desirable, grab it. This actually makes up for Eevee, because you can breed that and then get an Eevee. There's just wild Pokemon all over. This is why I need to do a separate wild area guide, because this is still some insane stuff. Let's see if we can grab this one on a quick ball. That would make life really easy. And then there's also just, you know, basic things. Depending on if you're going for the ultimate Pokemon catching farming grind, it's good to have a false swipe Pokemon that's like level 100 that can knock Pokemon out really easily. Then also having Thunder Wave, that way you can status them, it makes it easier to catch. Or you just kind of buy a million quick balls like I did and pray. then it just gets kind of sketchy from there. So that's another way to pick up evolutions, apparently. And Honedge is going to be able to be found in Hammerlock Hills, but you will need heavy fog to be able to find it, and that's going to be an overworld spawning Pokemon, but it has a low chance to spawn. After that, back at Lake of Outrage, if it's snowing, then there's a chance that Doublade can be a hidden Pokemon, so it's going to be best to pick up an Aegislash evolutionary line either through max raid battles, because that's how you can get Aegislash, or by finding a wandering Doublade like I did, and it appears that they spawn in this area. So that's some crazy stuff. Next Pokemon to grab. Let's go and get that special Meowth via the mystery gift. So this has been on the Pokemon website for a while. This special Meowth that can Gigantamax will be gifted as an early purchase bonus for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield players. You'll be able to receive the special Meowth from November 15th to January 15th. Get via internet on the mystery gift. Good news though, Nintendo Switch Online membership is not required to receive this special Meowth, which also suggests that other mystery gifts aren't going to need the Nintendo Online membership anyway, so at least you're not getting kicked out of that. It's mostly just the online functionality in the wild area, max raid battles that aren't going to be like just local co-op, and then the online battling system. So, searching for gifts. Looks like they found that one pretty quick, and then that's going to be the Gigantamax Meowth. It's actually going to be a really nice Pokemon because it gives you money when you Gigantamax, and kind of just a free little Meowth right here that isn't Galarian. Good news though, these special Eevee can breed. So if you played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and you get the Gigantamax Eevee, just slap it in there with a Ditto, with a Pokemon of the egg group as long as it's female, because female is what the offspring Pokemon ends up being, and then you can get it. So that's how you can start farming up those Eevees. I'm trying to think about what this, Masuda method always applies, so getting a foreign language Ditto. Still trying to figure out what that means for, like, game version versus, like, region versus the actual language of the game and the... Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with that still needs to be tested, but overall, you can just, like, kind of get the Eevees and then use the evolutionary stones or methods on them. Then you can end up with all of the Eevees that way. But at least this is a good start, especially if you have Pokemon Sword version, or you just wander through the wild area and get a lucky Espeon. So that's going to be some of the methods right there. Then, on Route 6, we have another pair of soft version exclusives. That's not the Pokemon I'm looking for, but hey, if you want Durant, there you go. Hidden in the grass on Route 6. Axew and Trapinch are going to be 5% and 1% depending on the game that you have. 5% for Axew if you have Pokemon Sword version, and then it's going to be 5% for Trapinch if you have Pokemon Shield. Otherwise, the only way you can get these Pokemon, or at least the evolutions of these Pokemon, are going to be through max raid battles and Lake of Outrage. So if you want one of these Pokemon for your story playthrough, that is going to be something to consider. Now, if we go to Lake of Outrage, where we got Ditto and we had all this other weirdness happen for all the Pokemon that are spawning, Lake of Outrage has a 5% chance to get Haxorus during a thunderstorm in Pokemon Sword version, otherwise it's 1%, and then if you want to get Flygon, it's going to have to be Intense Sun in that area, and then that's going to be the 5 and 1% respectively. Now, this place is kind of a mess. There's few patches of grass, it's very claustrophobic, there's also like a lot of ladders and weird things, so it's not like you can just run back and forth between grass. So my recommendation is either just kind of like go through the route, you just kind of progress naturally until you find the Pokemon that you're looking for, or you can also soft reset the area by not doing that, but by going to the bridge. So you bike to the bridge, once you cross the bridge, that despawns all the Pokemon, then you head back, it respawns the Pokemon, and that's kind of it. So next up, we're going to head over to Route 8 and find some cool hidden Pokemon. So here, you'll be able to find Haunter and Dusclops. It's just like this nice little ruins area whenever there's the shaking patch grass. Go into that. It's not like the most insane of chances, so it might take a couple of encounters. It's going to be 15% for the Dusclops and then 10% for the Haunter. But these are some really cool Pokemon that have a lot of competitive viability, especially the Dusclops. Dusknoir is pretty cool, and then a lot of people, they love them some Gengar. Now, you can't just find Gengar wandering around in the wild area, so that's the thing. And I guess we'll talk about the last Pokemon that's rare and or interesting on Route 9, and that is going to be the Delmas. So Delmas can be found as a 1% spawn in any of the patches of grass. Like what I did once, I flew over here and then Delmas appeared, so I wouldn't snag that Pokemon. That's definitely something you want to do. Then there's just a few other Pokemon that can be found in the area, but Delmas is kind of represented with its rarity from Pokemon Sun and Moon by being a 1% overworld spawn here. And that's kind of it. So yeah, it is really weird. We're still kind of waiting on more of these specifics about how the strong overworld Pokemon end up working in the wild area compared to dens, compared to their locations, compared to how to find them. There's a little bit of information on that, but I want to wait a bit more to like make sure we get a really good guide on that. And what it shows is that the Pokemon inside the routes that you're looking for, some of them, that's the only way of getting them, or it's like a very desirable way of getting them. And then sometimes they're just super rare in there, but they're more common to find in the wild area. So that is going to be something to keep a note on. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, comment down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.